The Brisbane Lions are all the way back, and if you want to come and challenge for the AFL this year, you've got to go through the Lions. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the Broncos, who lose their 7th in a row. The Socceroos are into the round of 32. They will face the Pharaohs, also known as the Egyptians. Angus, welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. Harry as well. Gus, we'll start with you. Episode 19. How are we, boys?
Very good, mate. Lachlan, you missed out on a slight little detail, and that was that the Cowboys got up over the Panthers. So I'm sure two of our listeners, Cormac and Jed, will be very happy about that. No, I'm going well. I was late to the recording again this week. Listeners may remember last week I was late because of having to cut firewood and start the fire, and tonight it was the same story. But no, very good.
Yes. Hello to everyone. Well, not really, Angus, because you didn't have to cut wood this time because I cut it like I normally do. And we agreed that you start the fire on weekends and I start them during the week because if you notice, there's only 2 days that are weekends and there's 5 that are weekdays. So they'll put upon over there.
I wasn't getting up here, mate. You're really reading into it too much.
No, mate, you just hate me.
Okay. How are you going anyways, Harry?
How are you going, Gerald? You're bloody coughing your lungs out over there. Well, those of you that have listened to our Paraguay reaction podcast will be glad to hear that Harry's throat has been soothed, and we've got the dulcet tones of Harry Town on the pod this week. Not a Darren Lockyer cosplay.
Yeah. Yes. After the basketball team went down in their grand final in contentious terms, which I'll get to later, and then Taylor House, which I'm the captain of, also got the win in got the win in athletics, which I'll also get to later. So there was just a lot of yelling.
That's the thing I found, I think, the most funny, Harry, is that it wasn't even from you being house captain at the athletics carnival. It was from the Derby Christian College basketball team that play on a social competition on a Wednesday night, them going down in what I believe, Harry, was it a double overtime, or was it overtime that was called?
One overtime that was called. Mate, it was a joke. So it looks like we're getting into it straight away. So the fellas, they're against what they would probably describe as the best team. But they've been the school team's been pretty good all year. And they've made it to their first ever finals. Their first ever grand final, Lara. They were looking to win a chip. And they go down early by 24 points. So bad start. And they come storming all the way back. End of regular time, Jay Burstow has to hit 2 free throws after with 1 second on the clock to take it to overtime. He nails both of them. And then we go into overtime. And even after the first overtime. So me and my mate who they're watching, we're like, okay, we're too nervous. We need to go to a nervous wheeze. And we go to the toilet. And we come back and we hear the Asian team cheering. We're like, that's a bit weird. They must have just hit a 3. And we come back to have found
Excuse
out.
Harry just coughing his having a coughing fit here.
Old smokers cough over here.
Yeah, bloody. That was why he was out late last night, Gus. He was on the darts with his mates at the rugby league.
Putting a couple of packs away.
To have found out that
the bugger fingers. Smythe. That's unbelievable. Oi, Harry.
Yeah,
on the
sorry,
way home
Harry.
from the...
Sorry, I just want to. I want to just cut in here. The free throws, is that because you called them the Asian team? I assume that's a team from the Filipino community in Dalby. Have they strategically fouled?
I don't think so. It might have been a strategic
for everyone at home.
But
not when you want to have a coughing fit, is it? When you're trying to tell a story on a podcast, listeners, we do apologise, and viewers.
Honestly, for the people in the car, I wouldn't blame you if you started flicking it over to the country hour at such a time.
So back to what I was saying. I think I'm through it now. So they hit the 3 throws, went to overtime. They were tied after first overtime, and then They've ended up not going to double overtime. We were like, oh, sick. We're going to get double overtime. And then after that, there'll be some thing to split them from the regular season. We come back and they go, no, the Asian team has won because they scored more points in the regular season. And if it was head to head or for and against, DCC win. It's just that the Asian team have high point scoring, but can't defend. So an absolute robbery. Blew up. A joke.
So they've won on boundary countback, just like the English cricket team in 2019 over the Black Caps. So, Harry, they haven't really won, have they? The Filipino community have told me that they've been gifted a championship from, from God's grace. Maybe he's done this, Harry, as a learning opportunity for the young ballers of DCC to see how hoopers. They handle this in the face of adversity.
I don't know if it was one of the players or like the coach or someone, but the coach agreed to call it at one overtime. They were happy to go again. Like obviously the other team wanted to call it, and like we wanted to keep going. But then someone said, "Oh no, you guys said you were fine to call it at one overtime," and everyone was like, "What?" So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's
so the boys were robbed, and going into. Did that keep spirits down going into the athletics carnival, or did the boys find a way to get up and put their house on the line?
Well, the boys from the green team, the Taylor, they found a way to push through and get a dual athletics day win, given it was over 2 days.
Harry, anything to add on your athletics carnival? Everything went well. You led Taylor House to a famous victory. I was amazed your voice wasn't from cheering on your house or your nation on Friday like Gus and I were, although as we'll get onto in a second, there wasn't much to cheer about. But your last athletics carnival, Harry, everything is said and done. Unfortunately, mate, if you go to uni next year, they do not do athletics carnivals in between houses, and you are not put into houses. That is a thing of the past. You've put your last shot, mate. I'll put it that way.
Mate, they did not put a shot in the Geordie Boss shirt. Yeah, look, the voice was not helped by athletics. It wasn't great after basketball. It was pretty well lost, and then it came back in the morning, and then it was lost by the time the first event finished. So then I had to put the voice away for the next 2 days.
Yeah. And I think one thing, Harry, I was amazed of is from the Paraguay review, which if you want to worry, we didn't put any social media content out from that. So if you want to go and check out what Harry's voice sounded like, go and have a listen. It's great.
This should throw a reel out.
I was planning on it, but no one, that's got over like 250 views, I think, at the moment on YouTube. No one has mentioned your voice. So we must have done a good, and there's been comments on there. We must have done a pretty good job of explaining, or they mustn't have just not really cared, which is also fine. Now, Gus and I, we did venture to the Lions game on Thursday night. We're actually going to start with Gus and I also braved some elements, I would say, Gus, to go cheer on the nation at the South Bank live site for what was an interesting experience, I thought. You kind of didn't really know how to feel.
Yep. No, we went there and we were debating whether to take a jumper or not when we left your place. We got out of the car on the way to the live site and we both exclaimed our thoughts of how the beastly easterly were cutting through us and how, that wind's got a bit of nip to it. That's got a bit of bite. So we were sort of thinking,
walking down South Bank, literally shivering. Actually going, this is a bit chilly.
This is a bit chilly. So we were like, geez, should have brought a vest or a jumper. Anyways, get to the live site, then starts raining. Wind's dropped off by then now, which is good. And then rain stops, sun comes out a bit, and it gets muggy. And I'm like, geez, this long sleeve shirt I'm wearing is a bit overkill at the moment. Fair income. And then after the game, it then again got windy and cloudy, and we were like, goodness me, is this Melbourne?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. And also you still felt good for going to the live site. Like that was definitely a preferred way to go. Australia were the better side, I thought. But it was a weird experience. Like everyone sort of goes there, they've congregated together. The vibes were high. Don't get me wrong. People were up for it. And like we had some pretty good chances, but like everyone sort of left and was like leaving the live site just a bit like, I don't really know how to feel.
You nailed it when you said, as we were walking out, you're like, geez, I'll tell you what, I'm glad we came to the first game and saw the two girls there.
Yeah.
I think even like we left it going because everyone cheered after full time.
Yeah, vibes were high when we
The vibes were
qualified in
high,
second.
but like everyone cheered. But it just like even if it was a 1-1 draw, I feel like everyone would have been up a lot more than 0-0.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's similar to Harry not going to this one, but he went to the US one. We both said you're just so happy you had that first experience of the Turkey game. Like, even like I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken
more for that one too.
But even just like the whole thing, like we went out for a couple of beers beforehand. We had a bigger group of mates. It was later in the day. The weather was nice. Everyone was out, and you just cheer on those two goals. And the whole experience of it was just unbelievable. Like,
well, the theater of it.
Like the fact that like the goal goes in and you just lock eyes with the nearest bloke and you've got him around you, like you've got him and you're carrying on and you're like jumping around and you're hugging everyone, you're rubbing people's heads, you're throwing drinks in the air.
Lachlan, you look at the nearest bloke and you just have a mutual agreement that you're about to enter a bear hug with them and jump up and down and around.
And absolutely. And I'm glad that we've got that. And hopefully on Saturday morning, Harry, myself, and one of his mates are going to be venturing to the South Bank Live. So 4 a.m., Harry. We were at 5 a.m. for the USA one. That's going to be a very early wake up. But I tell you what, you strap it on the back for the nation, and you get it.
And I'm not going to be going to that one, but you'd be foolish if you thought I wasn't going to wake up and watch it from home. I think I might be at Bella's place, but I'll be watching it from her place anyways.
And listeners, if you are going, that's too early for me. Well, hand your passport back in. And
exactly. Get out of our nation.
I was actually talking to Lachlan on the phone the other day about the early start for the last game, and you're foolish if you're not getting up for that. That is actually pathetic. And like, I mean, Western sensibilities. We've grown up on a farm, but how many times has our dad gotten up at 2 a.m., gone spraying for the day? Like just worked a full day, like finished at night time. And it's like, that's just a normal work day, let alone just getting up an hour or two earlier. So if you're not doing that, switch on.
And watching for our great nation. And some of the most chill mornings that I've had have been after a 5 a.m. kickoff. Because you just get ready for school way easier. Like,
you're already up. You actually have a bit of extra time. You've been up and about.
You've had your coffee early. The game finishes at 7 and you can kind of chill out. And it's quite enjoyable.
Well, you can park the bus for a bit, Harry, to use a World Cup saying that's getting around.
If you will.
You can.
If you will. But yeah, if you're not going to get up that early, I think you need to go and find the best mirror you can, take it to bed, sleep next to it, and wake up to yourself.
And like you can't say, I don't like soccer, because Angus didn't like soccer for ages. He hasn't cared. He hasn't watched one game of soccer before this World Cup, and he's getting up.
No, I will say though, Harry, the next day, didn't he have World Cup fever? When Harry rolls out of bed and Angus has got the World Cup on. That's what it does to people.
Well,
that's
what
hilarious. Does to people. It gets people up and out.
I've been getting up this week at about 5 o'clock to go to the gym. And as I have a quick bit of tucker, I always just throw whatever's on to see if it's on yet. But sometimes it starts a bit later. But yeah, you just throw it on. It's good stuff.
No, you'll never. I mean, I'm the same, but you'll never forget that Turkey live site. That was just it's so great. And I just hope that against Egypt this Saturday 4 a.m. We get a similar moment. Harry, we're going to be having a generational post-match breakfast. I can already feel it.
Yeah. Won't we just?
I just love the game's going to be finished and it's still going to be dark.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of that. I think
same.
we saw Gus. I mean, we had a couple of legends around us that were having a great time, just the same as us. They were getting stuck in. But I feel like the 5 a.m. kickoff crowd that we saw at the USA game was real. Like it was a football crowd. It wasn't like people trying to check in with camp chairs and getting turned away or whatever. Yeah. It was like they're there to just watch the football. So we'll see how that goes.
Committed, and that was we were able to see how committed they were when we were talking to one of the blokes behind us, and for that USA game that started at 5 a.m., he had a mate's 21st or something on the Friday night, and was out in the valley and just kept going, and then checked into the live site and he just watched the game. I think he said he parked up at 3 a.m. Like they finished, that's when they got kicked out or whatever, and he just
rolled
around
down the live site. Yeah,
moped around for a couple of hours until the game started.
Yeah, that's a tough carry. And I saw that like a few people I was chatting to that said, when I said I was going, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna like stay up and have an all nighter for it?" I was like, "Absolutely not, not a chance. And it won't be the same."
Waking up at 2:30 is not worth like, because if you can get to bed at 8:30, that's a good 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and it's
not 6 hours.
Yeah, it's not that similar to if you go to bed at 11 and need to get up at like 5 or 4:30. Like it's actually not that bad. So it's just about getting that early bedtime, which I'm sure Harry will.
I'll tell you what will be. Tell you what will be a tough carry. Me waking up at 2:30, going into a rugby game at Suncorp that night.
Yeah, but you'll find a way, Harry. Good players find a way, and I've always said that. You know what other good players find a way too, Harry? That's your top 5.
Yes.
It's back for another week. Now, I did get a little bit of people didn't love the month segment. There was a lot of disagreement. That's fine. It's an opinion piece. And I just said, look, well, that's right. Exactly right. It's an opinion piece. Your opinion.
Can you talk us through some of the disagreements we had?
September was too low.
September too low. Tommy Wainwright.
That was the common denominator.
Too low, and I heard that from a fair few people. I actually heard a fair few people saying, Harry, they agreed with my list. So,
guys, you can tune into a different podcast for Lachlan's top 5s, eh?
So Harry, I just read out?
No, do you know what that is? That's just the cities, mate. That's just the city Brisbane people trying to
not that
look after their
He
own.
comes from the Downs. He comes from God's country.
Yeah, he also comments on our tips every week and tells us we drink bathwater.
Yeah, well, I told him, Harry, I said, look, I get your point. However, it's Harry's top 5, not my top 5. So,
I actually got a paragraph sent to me from one of my uni mates.
Here we go.
Yeah, huge petrol head. He actually races go-karts. So this comes out in his critique of your top 5. Hey, Townie, I would like to share my thoughts on Harry's top 5. On Harry's top 5 months. The drive-by on the great month of October was unacceptable as it's the great month where the Bathurst 1000 takes place. A sporting event as iconic in Australia culture as the Melbourne Cup, the Boxing Day Test, and both the NRL and AFL Grand Finals. Just simply
come on.
un-Australian calling it the second worst.
What fumes
month.
are you smelling?
All in all, mate.
Gaudy, mate. Come on.
Only the finest, mate, from Sir Miles Axelrod.
Knock Bathurst down a few notches, mate.
Formerly Sir Miles Axelrod, Lachlan, after he got that revoked from him.
Oh, yeah, actually true. And Gus and I did make the comment when we were driving behind a Land Rover. I said, do you reckon Miles Axelrod has served his prison sentence? Would he be nearly out on parole? Cars 2, 2010, what's that, 16 years? He'd be close.
He would be.
Mate,
mind you, he'd be serving some
murdered
serious
a few
time.
cars.
He did put a few cars in the grave.
No, so
he did.
He sent a few cars to the wreckers, and he ran a whole offshore oil business that was like trying to.
Well, Harry, he got done for fraud. He got done for fraud multiple times over. So there's a couple of sentences there.
He's probably not out. He might have been out on one sentence, or maybe he was he's got a plea deal or something.
And he had his own private army. He had 2 army boats.
Yeah, no,
and that was just on one oil rig.
Business.
I'd love to get.
And that's before we get on to Professor Z or whatever it was.
We'll get into this later in the year when we give our favourite V8 supercar races when we do our Bathurst 1000 special later in the year, because we are petrol heads after all. I'd like to know who's Sporty's greatest of all time outside of Peter Brock, because I know a lot of petrol heads will say Peter Brock. But, for me, you got some great names there. You've got, Frosty, Mark Winterbottom. Yep. You've got Craig Lowndes, Jamie Whincup, Russell Ingle, Greg Murphy. You've then also got the, Rick and Todd, the Kelly brothers, Mark Skate, Garth Tander.
Who was the bloke on those Shannon ads in the insurance ones?
I don't know. I just
Anyways,
enjoy.
I mean, for me, it's Jamie Wynn Cup. Growing up, he won
it all.
Well, he was doing so well
And
at
Ginbergen,
Bathurst.
the NASCAR driver.
The Kiwi.
Grant Denyer.
Yep.
He raced Bathurst. He crashed at Bathurst a couple of times as well. Mate, there's nothing better than Bathurst, where you'd have the old, like, early 2000s footage of two guys have crashed into each other and they've gotten out of the car and they're bluing on the mountain.
Yep.
Kaz Monster
good.
literally crashes his car last year or the year before, and he just gets out and cracks a tin with one of the patrons.
That was hilarious.
You're not getting that in any other sporting event.
No, you're not. Probably cricket in the 80s.
I'd be interested to know from Gordon who he regards as his Mount Rushmore of V8 supercar drivers, which I look forward to him.
My current
still doesn't
favourite
change the
would
fact
be
that Gordon,
Jack Gordo.
Mate,
my
not
current favourite
not the train from Thomas and the tank engine, by the way. This is Angus.
No, this is the real deal. Real deal, Gordo. My favourite current driver would be Brock Feeney, who I've actually played Fortnite with before.
I thought it'd be
Great.
You guys have Western sensibilities, mate. I thought it'd be Will Brown, the boy from Toowoomba.
Lachlan, great V8 driver, terrible driver in Fortnite. I've said this
the
before on
controls
the pod,
aren't
actually.
great.
Yeah.
no,
The
you haven't.
controls aren't-
I'd just like to comment, Lachlan. Western sensibilities. You're calling Toowoomba West, mate. That shows.
It's from the
Normally-
Downs, mate.
Normally when I'm
Because
going
you
to Toowoomba, I'm
you guys
going
say
east.
anything. You guys say anything west of Ipswich. You guys say west of Ipswich. So there you go.
Mate, when I'm
You've
going
said
to
it the
Toowoomba, I'm
last
going
10
east.
weeks on this podcast. I'll go back and I'll get timestamps.
Mate, Toowoomba's on the east of us, mate. Come on.
Yeah, and you're on the Easter Miles, mate. So, and Charleville
Sir
and Mount
Miles.
Isa.
Sir Miles, actually.
Miles. Okay, that's enough trouble.
All right, go on, Gerald.
Harry, top 5 this week. What have you got for us?
Top 5 fruit.
Oh, here we go.
It's good to
No,
be awfully
your
controversial.
guys, mate, it'll be a short list.
Oi.
Number 5, strawberries and cream, Alan's
Yeah, I was
lollies.
going to say strawberries and cream, yeah.
Well, in number 5, I've strawberries.
Lemon warheads.
Cherry warheads.
Green apple warheads.
Oh, sorry,
Go,
Harry.
Gerald.
Top 5. Go on. Number 5. What have you got for us?
In number 5, I've got strawberries. They're the best berry. And when you get a good strawberry, not much beats it, but it just takes one to make the punnet go bad. That's why they've slotted in at 5. Number 4, this could be a bit low, but I've got grapes. There's nothing better than just a good crunchy.
Bit high if you ask me.
You reckon, mate? Goodness. No, I really enjoy a good honest grape, and they
That's
had
why
the
it's
cotton
4.
candy variety there for a couple of years, and that was good. I just enjoy me grapes. Number 3, I have what I would say is a bit of an Australian classic, and that's mango. You'd think mango would be up high on a lot of people's lists, and just speaks for itself. The cartons Mum used to get from Beatros Brothers in Dalby, and you'd polish them off. They were so good. They went down very well, and I'll tell you what, mango makes a good frozen yogurt at school in the school tuck shop. Number 2, I have apples. Pink Lady apples, to be exact. Pink Ladies, they're sweet, they're juicy, they just go down really well. And there's not many fruits. In fact, you could argue this is the only one that can spend a day in the lunchbox and still get eaten. Doesn't get battered and bruised like a lot of others. It's a blue collar fruit. It's a fruit that people east of Toowoomba wouldn't really know much about. Like I'd talk to Lachlan here, and he wouldn't think about how it can last in a lunchbox. Now, in number 1, I have watermelon. It's just like so good. On a hot day, you've come home from cricket. Me, Angus, Sam McGee Dugan, and Cormac Wainwright have just teared up. Dolby under 12s, and we've returned back to just some good, honest watermelon. It's just so good. Watermelon is so far clear of every other fruit, and that is my top 5.
On the watermelon, Harry, are you going seedless or are you okay with the seed?
I'm okay with seeds, but seedless would definitely be better.
Yeah, you're always opting for seedless, honestly. It's also just it's that, and I feel like watermelon and mango are the two like real summertime Australian classics, right? Like they're very like summer focused. Like mangoes in a lot of summer desserts. Watermelon always gets a run, and I don't mind that, Harry. So round, what was your top five? 5-1.
Strawberries, grapes, mango, apples, watermelon. Now, tough to miss out there is
Specifically
banana.
Pink Lady apples. Hey,
Yeah, specifically Pink Lady.
they're so far clear. Pink Lady is GOAT.
Yeah. And tough to miss out is definitely banana. I'd think banana would slot in at 6 on this list.
Yeah. Where do you put the orange, Harry?
I forgot about the citruses. Really forgot about the citruses. But
Because you're a big lemon boy. You love lemon.
Yeah, I reckon.
You're talking about fruits you eat on their own. You're not.
No, I'm
not as a condiment.
This isn't my official top 5. No, that's already been said. But I'm probably moving strawberries to 7, banana to 5, mango to orange to 6.
Love that. Love that. Gus, any thoughts on Harry's top 5 before we move on to the sport from this week?
I thought the grape was a bit high, but I can appreciate a cold grape out of the fridge. Just not one of my personal favourites, but no, that was really good. I probably would have put raspberries in grape spot, but other than that, really liked it.
Well done, Harry. I'm sure there'll be plenty of debate raging around the top circles over the week to come, and we'll get plenty of feedback on Harry's top 5. Also, listeners, comment your top 5 on the Instagram reel that comes out of Harry's top 5. It comes out every week, so keep an eye out for that. Boys, Thursday night, the Lions. We spoke about it on last week's podcast. We thought they were going to be competitive, and we just wanted to see a competitive display. Boy, did we. They rolled the Swans in a roaring encounter where the Lions played easily their best performance of the year to finish 43 points up. Gus, we ventured in. It was a lovely night at the football.
It was so
very
good.
enjoyable.
Oh, just from the start to the finish, it was so good. We were there with R. Smythe, and for the listeners, that's B. Smythe's brother, as in our brother-in-law's brother. And he is just one of the great blokes, and so that was lots of fun. No, it was a really good game. I really enjoyed Lions giving it to them. Yeah, I thought our defense was really good, and our kicking was good. But no, I was quite impressed with when the Swans were sort of in their forward 50, how much we sort of stopped them from scoring. I thought it was quite nice.
Yeah, I thought across the board, the Lions' structure has looked the best it has had all year, and that is still with some big names out. McCluggage, Zorko, Coleman, Dan Annable, if you want to name him, Lincoln McCarthy, Oscar Allen, Jack Payne. The list goes. It's been well documented, the people that we have had out. But we saw some guys have some pretty good games. Harry, you were watching from the couch. What did you think?
Yeah, we looked very good on TV. One thing that probably stood out to me is we got hit on turnover a lot. Our mistakes were what was causing the Swans' goals. There's just a few fumbles and a few loose handballs where they their goals from, which really probably shows how good we were, because they weren't beating us at their own game. They weren't getting the forward handballs that everyone was worried about. We looked very clinical, and I liked the look of Hipwood and Morris up forward. Gallup was good down back. We played a taller forward line. It was great to have Ryan Lester back. I thought Shadow Brain was really tough to get dropped, but against Sydney, tall forward line, I really liked how we looked structurally.
I agree, and you're right there to mention that a lot of our goals that we conceded and that Sydney scored came from direct errors. There was the one, Chad Warner one on the wing, where it was right in front of us. Lockie Neal tries to make a cute little kick. He plucks it, outdoes Neal for pace, sprints to the 50, runs, settles, kicks a goal. We turned the ball over from a kick-in where we kicked it straight to Curnow. He kicked a goal. They did that twice, so Riley Bice gifted us 2. Blakey might have been the other one, but I think Bice, it was either him or Bice for the other one. One thing that really stood out to me in this game, there were long stretches of this game where Ty Gallup was playing on Charlie Curnow, and he was excellent. Absolutely excellent. Like, he has not played down back for anywhere other than this year. He competed. He beat him on several occasions. He brought the ball to ground. And honestly, like that's no one will talk about it. They'll talk about it in the four walls. But that he deserves a massive pat on the back because, like, Kernow's in the prime of his career. He's a big, strong forward. He's been in good form. His team's been successful. And he just wore him like a glove.
Yeah.
That was good.
At the start of the year, he was my breakout player, but not in the way, and he's broken out, but not in the way I was expecting. I was thinking 3 goals in a prelim, you're only going to kick more, but he's been a revelation for our back line. And
well, we've needed him. Like, we've genuinely needed him. And
we've needed him, but also
we had the injuries.
But also, I look to the future. We put our backline on notice at the start of the year, saying everywhere across the field looks young except for our backline, and we've just slotted in a 20-year-old to fill a void.
For sure. I think, I mean, that was obviously what they were thinking going into the preseason. They were thinking that they're going to swing Gallup back and he's going to fill that hole that we've had from Starcevic and also from Jack Payne having to have his surgery again. And it just felt like there was a bit of a backlog. You also lost Kalachi, who is the swingman. He fills that gap. Ryan Lester comes back in for this game, and he again was flawless, did his job. One thing I really enjoy about Ryan Lester is he's not afraid to take guys on. He won a turnover in the middle of the ground, and rather than looking for an outlet with a handball or a kick right or left, he actually dummied against the defender and went straight and opened the corridor up for us, ended up resulting in a goal. Josh Dunkley on Isaac Heaney at stoppages was huge, 26 disposals and 8 tackles. Will Ashcroft was everywhere again, Lachie Neale everywhere again, and someone that I think you could... There was a little bit of chat last year about Cameron Rayner being a little bit of a barometer for the Lions. I don't necessarily buy into that too much, but he kicked 3 goals, busted a lot of tackles, including the one he did. He busted, I think it was 3 tackles for his first goal. He was at his absolute best. And Gus, I know you're a massive Cam Rayner fan.
Huge
I think
Rayner fan.
it was very, very nice to see him back at his best because he's been down on form.
Yeah, I think definitely there's Will Ashcroft and there's Rayner that certainly sometimes look like they're just not interested. And gosh, it's nice to watch Rayner bursting through those tackles, really hunting the footy and kicking those goals like he did then. It was just beautiful. You just go, you're so strong. Like, you should be playing in the Broncos side when he's breaking tackles like that. So no, it was really good.
Around his hips was crazy. Like, that's been the strength for me for him that's always stood out is just his ability to shrug tackles. Will Ashcroft's a little bit the same in a different way. He very rarely falls over in a tackle, and we've seen it time and time again that he's able to hold his position and then be able to dispose of the football. He was good again, which
same
good
can't be said for Jasper Fletcher.
No,
and he's having a bit of a funny old year, Jasper. But one thing we did see late in the game,
watching on TV, he didn't look terrible.
He played his role, but as we've said throughout this year, Harry, I think he's been down on his usual form. Then I know that might mean that he's just been playing way above where you would have expected someone of his games or experience level to play. So we have high expectations for him, and he's now kind of maybe been found out a little bit, maybe getting a little bit of extra opposition attention. So he's going to work through some things, but I have no doubt we'll see Jasper Fletcher back at his best soon. Someone who I think largely in his career goes through ups and downs, who was excellent and found a little bit of mojo in the last quarter and a half, I would say, was Kai Lohman. Showed up in the last quarter, took a big mark, 2 goals, got a bit of swagger back.
There was a nice bit of swagger there on show.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, when you have guys that are playing footy and they're up and about, and especially like our forward line, you look at it and you go, it is so potent. There's so many guns up there. But Loman's been down. Charlie Cameron again. He's been having an excellent year. Like we've said it all year. He has been unbelievable. I think he's one of the most accurate kicks in the competition at goal. Which, if you had said that last year, Harry, we would have been laughing if you said that we would be looking at Charlie Cameron being like that. But he has been gun barrel straight.
He's been so good,
and it's just honestly fantastic. He kicks 2. Zach Bailey again was outstanding, I thought. And I think we've all got to come to the realization.
Was it 2?
Yeah, we've all got to come to the realization that unfortunately, I think Zach Bailey's going to be applying his trade somewhere else next year, which is disappointing.
Jimmy. Yeah, it's going to be really sad to see.
And I know Zorko, he had an interview with AFL Nation before the game where he revealed that he intends to play on next year, but the other one is that he thinks that Zach Bailey will stay. And he made a point that the way he's been going about it doesn't reflect someone who's considering leaving the football club. And I feel like for Zach, it's kind of like, it's just, you cannot turn your back on that kind of money. Like, as much as you want to go, yeah, be the one club guy, whatever, it's like, yeah, this is also your career. Like, what you do now is going to set you up. And when we're talking about the difference of, $3 to $4 million and 3 extra years on deals and things like that, you do know you're going to have to sacrifice some money to stay at Brisbane, but it gets to a point where it starts to not make any sense. And I feel like that's where Zach is at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only way I see him staying is if he goes, well, this team is primed for another 3 years. Let me sign a 3-year deal and then I will then I'll go. But I just feel like, or the other way he says is if we give him a contract till he's 37.
Yeah. Which I'm not too sure if that's going to be the case. Boys, I thought Jared Berry was good in this game. We saw him. He came back against Freo. Looked like he'd hardly kicked a ball. He nailed a really nice goal from a set shot, which can be sometimes a little bit tricky for him. But again, we honestly have to give Brisbane our flowers. Like that, and I know we're not exactly getting ahead of ourselves, but we are the back-to-back premiers. We do have that in us, and we've come back from worse than where we are. In 2024, we were 10th at this time of the year. And earlier before the bye, we were in something like 15th. Like, the bones have been there all year. We've been saying it. Like, the effort's just been down and it's looked clunky. And we wanted to get to the bye. We got to the bye winning those 2 games and said, if we can come out of the bye winning games against Sydney and or Geelong, or at least one of them, we'd be in a good spot. And we sit here now doing that at the Gabba, and I think the Lions have got to feel pretty confident and up and about heading into a trip to the Cattery, considering what we did last year.
Yep. No, we did it well, and we beat Sydney and also put them away comfortably. So that was another nice little, it wasn't like there was a point in it. So that was nice to see.
No. We humped them, if you will, and it was nice to see. We made note of it when Brodie Grundy was lining up for that last set shot. Me, you, and Ruben Gus was sitting there going, this is a big kick for the guys that have got Brisbane 1 to 39 or Brisbane 40 plus, because if it's going to be 40 plus. So if he kicks it, it's going to be
a lot of multis up.
It could screw a heap of multis up. The boys end up, doesn't go through for anything because Harris Andrews blocks the shot, and then they're all getting up and about celebrating those small things, which you love to see as a fan, honestly.
Yeah.
Are you boys willing to early predictions for this Geelong game? What are you thinking?
I think we will lose, but like we all said before, these 2 hard games against Sydney and Geelong, all we needed was 1 win, and we've got that 1 win, so it's kind of a free hit. We want to keep momentum. I think we can win, but it's not the end of the world. We just don't really want to be badly beaten, is what I would say. But my prediction is probably Geelong by 4 goals.
And Harry, last week you said that you thought that Brisbane would win, and then you tipped Sydney. So if we're going by the law of averages and going the other way around, then I think we can be pretty confident about a Brisbane win.
I don't think I said that Brisbane would win.
You did by 2 on the podcast, and then you changed your tip later.
Lachlan, Geelong in the past 5 games, they've gone down to Carlton and Adelaide, being that was both away. And they seem to they've been dusting teams at home. But we are moving with some serious momentum into this game, and it could be a very close game, or just a very good game. I'd love to say Lions by a goal or 2, but I just don't know. Gun to my
I mean,
head, I'm saying Geelong, but I'd like to think Lions by a goal or two.
I mean, I feel like, though, for the Lions, like we've been saying it all year, if they rock up and play their best footy, it's not even a conversation of if we win or we lose. It's like if we'll blow teams away, which is what we did last year in Geelong. So I think it comes down to that.
We also did that. We also did that against Geelong in the grand final.
Yeah, exactly. And Geelong rolled into the Gabba this year. We played one half of competitive football, fell away, and they beat us.
Yeah.
Like, if that's how we play, we're not going to win. But if we roll in and play our best football, as has been shown over the last, I would say the last 5 or 6 years under Fagan, if you roll in and you play your best football, we win. If you don't, we lose. That's just the nature of what it is.
What it should be against those good teams. Like you rock up, you put the effort in. We're such a good side that, if we're putting the effort in, we dust any side.
Correct. Now, one thing, Harry, you're right to mention that we're going to give. You were asking, for Zach Bailey, we'd need to give him a contract till he's 37. Someone who I'd like to see get a contract till they're 37 is Logan Morris. I want to know when he's going to sign his 12-year contract extension. He's been outstanding. He was great again on Thursday night, but we did see some controversy on the three-quarter time hooter in what I would describe as the most mind-numbing piece of umpiring I think I've ever seen. Now, there is an argument where you can go for Logan, you're a key forward, just go back and kick the drop punt. But he actually executed the kick he was trying to do, which was kick the ball over the man on the mark by starting on the left and kicking it in line with where the mark was over the guy who's man on the mark with a snap after the siren. He did not go over the line, which means it should not have been called play on. The AFL has conceded that. But for the umpires, like, what are you doing? Like, why? What do you gain from making a controversial call? Like, if it's obvious and he takes another 2 steps, call it. If it's play on, call it, right? But it was so clear as day that it wasn't. And you just go, what are you doing?
Yeah, it didn't really make sense. I was watching it and I was like, oh, well, when's the score going to get added? And then as halftime kept going, I was like, oh, Fox Footy have forgotten to do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's been scratched off.
Harry, we didn't know until you had messaged our group chat.
Yeah, we didn't even notice.
No one at the ground knew. Like, obviously, I'm not paying close attention to I am paying attention to what the score is. But at three-quarter time, and we go, oh, mate's kicked a goal. You're going, oh, yippity-yahoo, he's kicked it, great. And then you're talking to your blokes around you and chatting. You're not glued to the score to make sure that it goes through. So I actually didn't know until you mentioned it. And we did, Gus, we were sitting in our seats at the time, and we said, oh, Logan, bit risky, mate. Just like go back and kick it because then you put it in the umpire's hands to make a call like they did. The AFL come out that the wrong call was made. But it's like, why do we have to go through this cycle of like the umpire makes a wrong decision that was so clearly wrong and didn't need to happen, and then the AFL comes out and says the umpire got it wrong, and then their leagues, people in the media are frustrated because it's like you didn't need to make that call. It's like we can stop all of this by just not making dumb calls that you don't need to make. I just think it's so stupid. Like, what does the umpire gain from making that call? Like, if it's obvious, call it. It's not. Anyway.
Well, Lachlan, no matter where you've just got to kick it from in line with old mate, right? So it shouldn't matter where you run in from.
Because the whole thing is that if you play
you
on,
have to stay in line though.
Well, you could be gaining an advantage. So Logan started from, like, he then kicked the ball on the mark, which you're allowed to do. And you're actually, Harry, I think you're allowed to kick it just before the mark, just not over it. Is that right?
Yeah, well, usually, like, when you kick it before the mark, they don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's if they kick it over the man on the mark, they're fine with it as long as the ball goes over the man on the mark and you don't go past the mark.
Which is what he did. He
could you, if you're kicking one from 50 and want to run in and sort of kick with a bit of an arc, they make sure you run in a straight line towards the bloke and kick it. What if you started 2 meters to your left, ran in and kicked with a bit of an arc? You'd still kicked it over, old mate. They'd call that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Okay, well, then if that's fine, I don't see why this one wasn't.
Yeah, no, I don't really. I mean, it's going to be well documented. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Boys, before we move on, I've got a couple of pet peeves from the football. that I've experienced this year. The first one, the Lions have had a tough year. I know we sit 9-6, but as a fan, it hasn't exactly been as smooth sailing as what we saw last year. It's definitely been smoother sailing than 2024. But historically, for Lions fans watching the football at the Gabba, you go to the football, you have a good time, we smack someone and we play great stuff, kick lots of goals, we win. Right? This year, we've lost a few games at the Gabba. We've been there at every single one and we've experienced it. Why on earth, when you're beating the team coming second by a big margin, are you leaving early to beat the traffic?
Well,
what are you doing?
I know what you mean, but I think it's the people that probably want to get to bed a bit earlier, or
Don't go to the
they're
football
like,
then.
well, yeah, but it's like, well, we've seen they're going to win. What else do we need to see? I'm with you, but
Sing
it's
the
not a
song.
it's not a close game. Yeah, well, Lachlan, it might not mean as much to him.
Winning is not guaranteed, right? And I've been there as a Lions fan watching us get humped back in the day, and I appreciate every single minute of us being the best team in the league and being a team that has a winning record and watching my team win, because I know all too soon the era will be over and I'll be there going to the football watching us get pants, which I hope doesn't happen, but there's a real possibility that it does. Look at Richmond at the moment. I bet you there's some people that'd be dying to go and sing the song and hang around and sing the song. You know, like, you're still going to have a late night, whether you leave at halfway through the fourth quarter or at the end of the game. Are you really getting that much extra sleep? Are you really saving that much extra time? Like, if you want to save some time, watch it on your couch. Cheer on your team to the final whistle. I understand leaving early when your team is disrespecting your time and playing like utter crap. I understand that, right? Go and take some control. They've hurt you, and go and leave and get something back for yourself. When your team's winning, just stay there and enjoy it. Stay there and enjoy it and sing the song, because you don't know. Sometimes you don't know when your next win's going to be, and I've always said that. The other one, right, is people that continuously get in and out of their seat. We sit in the Gabba members. You can pick your seat. If you're going to be going to the footy and you're going to be having a few beers, which I encourage, it's a great time. However, if you go, I've got a bit of a bladder of a pregnant woman, so I'm going to get a seat that's near the aisle because I don't want to annoy people that get up all the time. Because how annoying is it, boys, when you're sitting at the football and it's the same bloke like twice a quarter and you're going, mate, sort it out.
And you start that, Lachlan, I love the politics and the ethics of it all, because you start the night off, just a butler going for a piss, going for a slash, nothing wrong with that. You just go, oh yeah, here you go, mate. You almost make friends with him on the way past, and then as soon as he keeps going, you start going, oh, this flog again, and you start making little remarks. You start as soon as it might be.
Or making it a little bit difficult for him to walk around.
Yeah, making it a bit difficult. You don't stand up and you just tilt your legs to the side and go, look, figure your way out of this one, mate. Exactly. Maybe it's the third quarter and he strolls out again, and you start making louder remarks to the mate beside you that you're with about how weak this bloke's bladder is, stuff like that. But I'm with you. It's pathetic. And as someone with a small bladder themselves, I do actually consider. Yeah, I consider staying on the end. The issue is it's a tough balance of, do I sit at the end and have to stand up for every single person that comes out of here, or do I lower the amount of standing up I have to do, scoot into the middle, and just not drink as much water or something?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And honestly, I think if you need to get up once a quarter, that's fine. It's when it ends up being multiple a quarter for the whole game, right? Yeah. And I'm not talking about at quarter time, half time, or three quarter time.
That's play on.
That's when you're supposed to move. I'm talking about specifically while the game is on.
Yeah.
Get it together or choose a seat near the aisle. Like, we are lucky in the members that we can do that. If you're buying a seat, buy a seat near the aisle. It is not that hard. They're my two pet peeves. I wanted to get that out there because
I've got another one.
Grinding my gears on Thursday night. Go on, Harry.
Little kids saying
2, 4, 6, 8.
2, 4, 6, 8, you can't kick straight. And then against the teams at the Gabba, they just nail it from Timbuktu.
Yep.
And I just want to spray the kid.
And
Well-
continuing to say that while the opposition team just keeps slotting goals.
I mean, Harry and I, every time that there's a guy lining up from the opposition team, we've done it for years. We always turn to each other and go, they kick these against us.
Yeah.
And I think, Harry, I think we're actually just mentally scarred from that Giants game last year at the Gabba, where they literally kicked them from everywhere. Like Aaron Cadman, I swear he had the ball. It was like remote controlled, or he was controlling it with his mind. It was utter. I think they kicked like 16 goals for.
Yep, 16 goals for.
And it's always highlighted as a Lions fan because we are the Brisbane Hinds a little bit. So when we're having a bad kicking night and someone's having a good kicking night, it is the most tilting thing in the world. But they're my pet peeves. And
No, I'm happy with it.
yeah, I look, if others come to me, I will share them on the podcast, but I wanted to make known because it was doing my rugby league head in. Gus, we did get the chicken souvlaki. I did eat a healthy amount of paper. Those that saw it, I'm assume I've passed it. I don't think it would be still inside me, but if it is, I'm sure it'll come out. Look, the chicken souvlaki, Harry, how did you feel that you missed it?
I was fine with it, especially when every now and then I have to pay for the food reviews, and I found that it was $16 something, and I was like,
Yeah, I got that.
happy to dodge that one.
Yeah, I copped that one. However, Harry, I think you were right to point out that Gus should have shown some manners and swallowed his food first before he was talking to the
shocking.
camera.
I'm actually shocking at it. I looked back at the video and I was like, geez, you're a grub, mate.
Yeah,
But
the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, I don't really know, Harry. I didn't notice it. And then the second time, I was like, oh, I can't not notice it.
I know. I just take a bite, I taste it, and I'm like, right, I need to get my opinion out right now. For future reviews, I'll be letting the other bloke who took the bite first say something before I.
Yeah, I think
I'll
the
chew my
key-
food before
I think the key is that you've got to, when you're the person that takes the first bite, you take a smaller bite and then you just chew it real quick, swallow it, and then you can give your thoughts while the other guy's having a bite, and then you can go like vice versa. But listeners, I hope you're enjoying the food review.
I think smaller bites are the key, and not just lunging into a massive bite and then having to chew through a whole bunch. But yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. It's also hard. It's also actually, I think, a little bit easier when you have something that's really hot because, like, you've kind of got to like have a bit of time. Anyway, I enjoyed getting the souvlaki. Wasn't really to my taste, but we are working through the wheel, and we've definitely been enjoying them this year, boys. Really quickly to skim over before we end the show for this week, the Brisbane Broncos. 7 in a row. Harry's attending this week. Can he be the good luck charm to turn it around for the Broncos?
And also, there's been requests from the group of boys I'm going with that we film a Suncorp food review.
Yeah, you guys can do that. I'm looking forward to seeing Harry editing a video. That'll be nice.
I would love to see that. Please
Good
do
luck
that.
doing that. Yeah, mate.
Mate, if I'm editing, it's not happening.
No. You need to know what Lachlan and I go through when we're at the Gabba and everyone else is having a good time and we're parked up the back of the stadium editing a quick food review.
Yeah.
Well,
A little bit of a peek on the curtain.
I'll
I'd love to
just
see that.
Yeah, but Harry, you can engineer it in a way that's different. You don't need to do the like intro. You literally could just go, we're reviewing this, boom, shoot it, immediate thoughts, one take. It'd be like 40 seconds long. You can just do that. That's fine.
You could also just do a normal one but post it afterwards. You don't have to post it while you're at the game like we do with
Look,
ours.
I'm thinking I'll just hope none of them got this far in the podcast, and I'll tell them that Lachlan and Angus said I wasn't allowed to do it.
I might actually make a reel of and drum the listeners up that they're going to get a Suncorp food review. I might get Celia to,
guys.
I'll get Celia to announce it over the PA.
I don't know how to.
Harry, watch YouTube
Harry,
videos. It's fine, mate.
No, Harry, you don't need to do any editing. You could literally do it one take. Food review here at Suncorp. We're doing this. This is what we're reviewing. Boom, have a taste. Give you a review. Bang, one take, 45 seconds, done. That's all you need
Lachlan,
to do.
that's not 45 seconds. That'd be at least 2 minutes.
No, not if you're literally standing there outside the kiosk holding the food going. You don't need to do, we're spinning the wheel and we're doing this and we're doing that. I reckon you could easily do it, Harry. I would encourage you.
I cut down on Thursday night, you and I taking a bite. That was like a 2-minute clip. I cut it down to like 50 seconds.
Yeah, I reckon Harry could do it. However, Harry, I hope you are the good luck charm because the reigning premiers 7 in a row. If the Lions had lost 7 games in a row, it would test me. Honestly, it would test me. 7 in a row. The Roosters' 5th consecutive win over the Broncos at Suncorp. It was pissing down with rain. I spoke to a mate that was at the game and he said the highlight was listening to Thirsty Merc, who performed live at the game. So that's where Broncos fans' hearts and heads are at. 5-12 is the Broncos record. They were 5-5. They now sit
I think it's 5-10.
12 losses.
5-10.
It's tough. Why would it be 5-10?
Absolutely ridiculous.
5 wins, 10 losses.
I suppose buys, yeah. Because what round is it? It's round 17.
They've played 15 games, Harry. That's why it'd be 5-10.
Yeah, correct. You are right. 10. It has counted the buys. That is my
Which fair
bad.
enough. I'd count the buys.
Towards
As well.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
a loss as well.
Yeah, well, mate, they do get 2 points for it. But again, the Roosters got it done. The Sharks, Harry, how are you feeling heading into this game? You're going to be there. Look, they need to win 7 of their last 9 games to play finals. They had their Origin stars back in this game.
I think we can win. It's against the Sharks. Like against the Roosters, we were actually not terrible. Like
it was a lot more competitive than what we've seen recently.
And like if we Roosters are a lot better than the Sharks. So if we can produce that, I think we can beat them. Like we should be able to give it a good crack. Me and the boys there will all be there riding the Broncos home, and some of them aren't Broncos fans. They probably will not be riding the Broncos home, but that's besides the point. We'll be there.
Look, the Broncos are just trying to do the opposite of the 8 straight that the Mighty Maroons did, mate, from 2006 to 2013. This time it's the 8 straight the other way around, which we'll see if they get that done. But the Broncos, if they're going to play finals, they really do need to turn it around. Luke, our mate who works for the Broncos, he said he's been ultra depressed. So he said he's looking forward to getting on the podcast and breaking down the Broncos season at the end of the year. And I said, look, mate, we'll happily have you. The other note here has to be said. Podcast. I know we mentioned it at the top of the show. The Cowboys beat the Panthers in what was a great game of football. I turned on and watched the second half, and the Cowboys just wanted it more. They honestly got the job done. They played the game well. They had a try went to the video ref late, and then Jake Clifford did put the ball down, which at first glance didn't look like he had. But if you're a Cowboys fan, you're marching a little bit taller. I don't think that changes their premiership credentials at all, the Cowboys, and I don't think it really threatens the Panthers. But you do love getting one over the best team in the competition.
Was it a full strength? Was it a full strength Panthers side? I wasn't really following it too much.
Yeah, well, all the Origin guys were back.
Yeah,
so it was. It was.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Sensational. It was hard. It was all even 12-12 at half going into half time, wasn't it? Oh no, 10-10, sorry.
Yeah.
And then
it only really changed.
Couple of tries.
It only really changed. Last 20 minutes. Yeah. The Cowboys got a penalty where they took the 2 and they went 2 points up, and then from there they basically just ran at home.
Mate, Queensland Country Bank Stadium would have been rocking.
Mate, it would have been absolutely heaving.
Yeah. I was at a mate's place and we were absolutely riding the Broncos home.
Cowboys?
We were.
Do you mean the Cowboys, Harry?
Cowboys, same thing. They're both got horses involved. We were just riding them home. It was so good to watch. And yeah, Penrith were only missing Casey McLean. That was the only person they were missing who's injured.
Yeah, they were basically full strength with the Origin stars back. Boys, to round out the show this week, what have we got on this week? Harry and I have got school holidays. Anything big planned for you, Harry?
No, not really. I'll just cruise on there next week, do some work, and go to Brisbane next Friday afternoon.
Gus, what about you?
I've got I've got work this week, video editing, and then this weekend involves just being at Bella's place and probably parking up at the Barnville pub with Abe Bremner on Saturday, and just following the sport.
Absolutely. Mine will be World Cup and
Yep.
more World Cup. We will do a preview of the Socceroos versus Egypt. Mo Salah is under an injury cloud. Harry and I will be there to cover all of that at some stage later this week and preview what that Egypt matchup looks like and how we think the Socceroos might match up. So please keep an eye on that. If you do want to hear me and Harry react to the Paraguay 0-0 draw, make sure you check that out. It is in your podcast feed right now, or it is on the YouTube, however you like to get them. 4 a.m. next Saturday. Egypt. They await the pyramids, the pharaohs, and we're coming. Get to your local live site. Get together with your mates and watch the game and create some memories and cheer the nation on as we try to win our first ever World Cup knockout game. Boys, episode 19 of the Talk of the Town podcast, that's in the books. We'll be back with you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye for now.
Bye.